Sorry about that. I did warn you. That was a test of your equanimity. All right. Way to wake up our nervous system. Yeah. Mm. So I invite you to choose a posture that feels comfortable and supportive and stable. So whether you choose to sit on a chair or sit on the floor, or if you can join me right here too. Um, and um, and for those of you at home, finding a posture and props that will support us, a sense of stability and solidity. So making yourself comfortable, really making yourself really feel at home while you're here. For some, it's like taking off our shoes, removing our, glasses or watches, or, you know, and shifting your posture a bit to really find what is stable, what is grounding, what feels good. And a reminder that you're not required to force yourself to sit really still, but the stillness comes by way of us being able to soften and relax our body. Where we get to the place where we feel so at ease, so at ease. Just imagine like you're sitting on a beautiful day like today, looking out towards a body of water, and maybe you're leaning back against a trunk of a tree, and it's just so pleasant, and you feel so at ease and rested. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. And you just sit back and rest and just observe the world within you, coming back to sensing, feeling. Maybe the eyes are closed. If the eyes are open, you can choose a visual object to anchor your attention to. Maybe your lips are touching and you're breathing through your nostrils if uh, that feels supportive. And perhaps taking a few deep, intentional breaths. And with each out breath, letting go of the mental busyness, arriving here. And taking a moment to see if there's any minor adjustments you'd like to make to your posture. Softening the shoulders, relaxing the jaw, all the muscles in the face. Relaxing the back, the torso, the belly. Just by way of paying attention to each part of the body, awareness is loving and friendly. And when awareness meets the body, there's a way in which the intelligence within us knows how to take care of us. So you might choose to anchor your attention to the contact points in the body. Notice where the sits bone presses against the chair, the cushion. Maybe your feet is planted to the floor. Feel the support of the earth below you. Trusting, trusting that you're being held. Maybe you rest your attention here, anchoring into the contact points in the body, or maybe moving to sounds, hearing the sound of my voice, or the sound in the room, or the sounds outside the window. Sound bringing you back to the present moment. You can stay here, or you can move your attention to the breath, inviting in that nourishing, healthy breath. Oftentimes, when we're anxious, rushing, or lost in thoughts, our breath becomes shallow and short. Maybe choosing to breathe a little bit harder, practicing to expand the lungs' capacity to take in air. And slowing the out breath. And doing this with ease, not force, with wholesome effort. Notice if this moment calls for more energy or more relaxation. Offering yourself what is supportive, Continuing to notice where there's a tendency to tighten up and invite in that softness. Maybe it's loosening the grip in the hands. Maybe it's resting back just a little bit more. Maybe it's relaxing the jaw. And to fully be here, it requires this way in which we tune in and take interest in the breath or sensations in the body or sounds. So this is not a passive practice, but there is some level of engagement with whatever arises. There's this way of paying attention moment by moment. And we're using the body and mind as the framework in which we cultivate this energy of awareness to stay tuned, stay tuned to the frequency within. Stay tuned to the movement, the activities, all within without getting caught in it. And when we find ourselves caught and lost in thoughts and entangled, come back to the anchor again. Softening, resting, energized, and relaxed. Notice the constant change of sensations, of thoughts. Phenomena arising and passing away, arising and passing away, just like clouds in the sky. So our internal state is transient, and we can observe this without clinging. Resting, resting in your being. Be aware of the state of the mind. Note what hindrances is pulling you away from being awake and present to what's here. Is it restlessness, sleepy dullness, doubt, aversion, or craving? On noticing this, applying skillful effort in coming back and making that U-turn back, back to an anchor, or back to this field of awareness that is open and receiving all that is here, welcoming, allowing life to be exactly the way it is in this moment. To end our meditation with a song, you're welcome to continue to practice, or if you know the song, you're welcome to join me. Have you seen how fleeting is the world? Like a dewdrop bubbles on a stream, lightning in a summer cloud, a phantom and a dream. Have you seen how fleeting is the world? Like a dewdrop bubbles on a stream, lightning in a summer cloud, a phantom and a dream. Have you seen how fleeting is the world? Like a dewdrop, bubbles on a stream, lightning in a summer cloud, a phantom and a dream. Have you seen how fleeting is the world? Like a dewdrop, bubbles on a stream, lightning in a summer cloud, a phantom and a dream. Bringing awareness to the transition out of meditation, inviting in movement, stretching your legs or moving the body, and coming back into the room. And we'll take a 5-minute break. And you're welcome to use this time to stretch the body and take care of yourself. And I'll see you back at 5:40. Mm. Right. I'm just waiting for folks to return. Welcome back, everyone. Mm. Steffi, would you like to come up?
Hello, I'm Steffi. Friends, I want to share something from the heart. As many of you know, this little Sangha keeps growing week after week. More people are finding their way here, some arriving stressed, some grieving, some just needing a quiet place to breathe. And it's been beautiful to witness how this community holds them the way a Pacific Northwest forest holds everything that falls into it, gently without judgment. To continue offering this refuge, we're hoping to take two next steps. First is to offer another sitting group in West Lynn and hopefully move into a larger room upstairs at some point. Second is to offer fair support to our teachers who give so generously of their time and of their hearts, including continuing bringing in guest teachers. So if this group has supported you, or if it's helped you steady your mind or soften your heart, we invite you, only if it feels right to contribute to our Sangha building. Truly, no amount is too small. Every offering, even the cost of a cup of tea, helps us grow in a way that's sustainable and rooted in kindness. There's a donation bowl on the table, and you can also give online using Venmo or through a direct deposit through Zelle. You may also want to consider being a monthly donor on Zelle. And if contributing financially isn't possible right now, please know that your presence here is already a gift, and we can always use volunteers to help set up the room, greet people, and take down the tech equipment, setting up for social hour every month as well. Thank you for being part of this community. May our shared practice continue to ripple out in ways that we don't even see. Thank you.
Mm. Thank you, Steffi. Mm. Mm. I'm curious how many of you, while sitting, found yourself entangled in your thoughts, in your to-do list, in concerns and things that are incomplete. Yes. Mhm. Yes. So how do we live? How do we practice this path of living in the world, to be in the world, but not of this world? Right? Because as soon as we are of this world, we are caught. We're caught in the winds. In Buddhism, these are known as the worldly winds. So there are 8 worldly winds that cause a lot of turbulence for us, mental, emotional turbulence. So as I read this off, I just want you to kind of track, like, what seems to be the ones that the worldly wind that you get caught in. or maybe the one that's most prevalent right now. So these are presented in four pairs of opposite, and they are the inevitable experiences that we have in life. They're unavoidable. And as long as we are entangled in them, caught in them, we are not free. We kind of like ping pong back and forth. Is this and then that, back and forth. So the pairs are gain and loss, pleasure and pain, praise and blame, and good reputation and bad reputation. So when we think of gain and loss, when we gain what's favorable, we're happy. When we lose it, we're worried and we can't sit still, we're restless. When there's pleasure, oh, everything's great and wonderful. And then when it's painful, I'm having such a bad time. When we are blamed for something, it's hard, it's heavy, it's hard to be with that. And when we are praised, oh, feels so good, so happy. This says something about me. You know, good reputation and bad reputation. So how often do we move between the two of these four opposite forces? And we get so entangled and enmeshed in them that our effort is to just move away from the negative ones, and dread the negative things that might come, whether it's pain or blame or a bad reputation or avoiding loss at all cost. Everything we do to try to prevent the possibility of loss. And then on the other end, it's, clinging to what's positive and how that too causes us to suffer. Clinging to it to the point that we can't come to terms with how things really are, how life really is, which is this constant ebb and flow, coming and going. Right? One moment it's like this, and then the next is like that. Transient, impermanent. And to really see this, we must see the conditionality behind all of these things. And if we live so caught in the conditionality of life, we suffer because it's constantly, we're just riding the wave, but never at ease, never able to just land. I will be happy you know, or I will rest when I can finally, when things are finally, the conditions are finally like this, then I'll be okay. So to see that this is usually where we get entangled is how we first begin to unentangle ourselves. And the first part about this path of practice is to contemplate on the drawbacks of what we are clinging to. So notice when we are clinging to something, attached to something, notice the drawback, notice the pitfall that we fall into, the delusion that we fall into. So there's a passage in the one of the sutra, the Apadana Sutta, that speaks about how a practitioner should focus and contemplate these drawbacks of clinging that leads directly to being free from the struggle, the suffering. And it helps stop the cycle of craving and attachment. And I'll read this passage here. Now, in one who keeps focusing on the drawbacks of clingable phenomena, craving ceases. From the cessation of craving comes the cessation of clinging. From the cessation of clinging comes the cessation of becoming. From the cessation of becoming comes the cessation of birth. From the cessation of birth, then aging, illness, and death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, distress, and despair all cease. Such is the cessation of this entire mass of suffering and stress. I think of the story of the Buddha when he was a prince and he went uh, out into the village, and each day he went in a different direction to see what is it like, what is a life like outside of the palace. And he got to witness aging, sickness, and death, a funeral occurring. And he's like, oh, what? What's that? You know, he was pretty sheltered in the palace. So everything in his life was just so beautiful, so perfect. But when he went beyond the four walls of the palace, he got to see the reality of how life really is. And so he wanted to get to the root of this. You know, where do we go when we die? And he actually encountered a monk, um, and he came up to the monk and asked him, you know, what, like, who are you? Why are you dressed this way? And just kind of really confused, like, you know, someone who abandoned all of the cravings and attachment to the worldly concerns, you know, that we named earlier, I named earlier, and living such a very simple life, free from all that. And he said to Siddhartha, that was his name before he became the Buddha, he said, you will lead the way and you will teach the way to others. So uh, that was the vision that this monk saw. So contemplating on our attachments, on the things that we cling to, specifically in our life right now, clinging to wanting more pleasure and no pain, or being caught in suffering when that comes from having something and then losing it, right? And that ability to step back and just for a moment see, oh, I'm experiencing the suffering of loss. You know, that's a moment of mindfulness that we can step back and see this. So to be entangled is being so wrapped up in it that we are just reactive and pulled into it mentally and emotionally. And mindfulness is what allows us to still engage with what is here, what is happening, but we can see it more clearly. Oh, this is a part of being human. I remember the years that, you know, I was like really stressed about the business that I had. And at the time was going through some, sales, some decline in revenue. And then I was in a Sangha, kind of like this. I was online. And then I had a moment where I was like, of course, loss is normal. Right? I was like, loss of revenue is normal. And in that moment, I wasn't suffering anymore. It was so clear to me that this, how did I not include this inside of owning a business? Yeah, right? This is how we forget. We forget the truth of how things really are. And in that moment, I was like, oh, yes, I had gained so many years. I had benefited from the gain. And now I too must also experience the loss. And that allowed me to fully ride the loss. Okay, okay, this is what's here now. Okay. And then I will continue to put in skillful effort and do the best I can. And this shouldn't run my life. This shouldn't take over who I am to the people around me and how I show up with care, with presence, with loving attention. So when we get so caught and wrapped up in the worldly concerns, the eight worldly concerns, we lose sight of how things really are. The truth about being human and the unenforceable rule. So to practice mindfulness allows us to see this and to also see the ever changing nature of all things, how it's inconstant. Pleasure is inconstant, pain is inconstant. You know, right now, whatever we have, that's just here for now. That too may change. You're just like the song that I sang earlier. It's this ability to look back and see how fleeting everything is, how fleeting the world is. And it's just like this transient. It's like a dream, like bubbles on a stream. It forms and it's here for a moment, then gone. With the causes and conditions, it takes shape like lightning, and then like that, it's gone. And that recognition can be somewhat bittersweet. It it humbles us. Yeah, when we can interpret this this mark of existence about impermanence in a skillful way, it should humble us, not defeat us, not have us feel a sense of resignation, but rather a sense of, this is what it's like to be human. Yes. And then that sensitize the heart and allow us to develop the strength and the courage in the heart, right? That then helps us to come to that place of mental equilibrium. So, with that way we approach life, welcome, welcome. And with, this way that we express compassion towards just the struggle of it all. And then to find what there is that we can still appreciate and be grateful for. amidst all that's here. And then from there, we take that attitude and then we let ourselves come to that place of acceptance. That's the equanimity. Equanimity is when a person can maintain mental equilibrium to be with life and be with all things as they are. Right? So that's different from indifference. We are still engaged. We're not passive. We're not like checked out. We're engaged and in tune and in touch with the highs and lows, the coming and going, the ups and downs. But our eyes are engaged with what is happening now. Our heart and mind is in tune and engaged with what is happening now and seeing this truth for ourselves. And that's equanimity. It's being okay even when things are not going our way. When we are entangled, we're caught in it. We're not okay with it. We're like being pushed and pulled by it or trying to fight the circumstances that are there, right? Either pleasure, I don't want to lose this wonderful experience, or pain, get this away or, make this go away. I don't want to feel this. So that's the knee jerking response. And so the equanimity is that skillful, intentional response that's coming from a place of clarity, of clear seeing. I think it was this morning in Wake Up Together where I think it was Allison that said something around, this ability to just accept whatever's here. And that allows us to then fully be in the present moment, be with life here and now. So equanimity includes all of the experience, the gains and the loss, right? The word equanimity too, another way it's translated is non-discrimination. So we're not discriminating like, oh, I like this, but I don't like this. We're like, okay, welcome it all. All is welcome here. Inclusive, including everything inside of our experience, right? So accepting it's not what I prefer, but I can be with that. So we still have our preferences, but we are aware, okay, it's not really going my way, not as planned. And that's okay too. Yeah, a little. Okay. How's how's that? Is that better? Okay. There we go. Thank you. Hmm. Thank you. One of the more concrete ways to practice untangling ourselves from all of the preoccupations of mind and all of the concerns is to practice dwelling in the present moment. And so this is practicing the Satipatthana, which is the four foundations of mindfulness, right? And that is in the moment that you recognize, okay, I'm caught by the worldly winds, I'm attached to something, my nervous system is, going haywire, or I feel just dysregulated, is to come back to the body, get in touch with what is going on in here, feel the frequency, the rumbling, the vibration, the sensations, and then get in touch with the feeling tone. What is the tone of this that's here? So we're retraining ourselves to not get carried away by more stories, more thoughts. But we're coming back to this the immediacy of this felt experience that's happening right now. And then we can practice mindful breathing. So for me, when I'm feeling really dysregulated and just it's just so much turbulence inside, it's breathing much stronger, like and doing that as long as I can, and then maybe even walking, you know, walking and breathing and lowering my gaze, not looking out into the world, because then that I'm concerned with what's going on out here, right? So when I lower my gaze, I'm just looking after what is going on in here internally. So when our attention is out like this, we're just preoccupied with the world. So when we turn inward like this, even walking and looking down or washing the dishes or eating, and our attention is just right here, just with what's immediately in front of us. This is how we can tune into the present moment. So we practice mindful eating, mindful walking, mindful breathing, being in our body. And what we're doing is we're coming back to the nature within us. And that is where the truth lives, where the truth lies, is the nature can be found. The truth about how things really are can be found here in the framework of our body or out in nature, right? We can go out into nature to remember and return to that truth again of how things really are. But here within us, the framework of this body and mind holds that truth if we take time to look deeply and see, oh, impermanence is right here. The struggle of life is right here. There is no I that has control over what's happening inside. There's just awareness that can help soften the experience and help perhaps provide us some sense of ease and relief. Anything that we give our attention to has the possibility to shift and change, soften and ease up. So when we are truly here in the present moment, in that one breath or one step or one bite of food, we're truly grounded in what is, right? We're not caught in the worldly wind. We're standing in the center of that calm, even if it's just for that one moment. We're not lost in concepts, ideas, the sea of opinions. Because underneath that turbulence, in that same place, is where the calm is. We keep thinking that we have to go somewhere else to find that calm. But underneath the turbulence, right there inside of us, inside of all of the movement and the activity and the sensation, right there too is the calm, is the awareness that can witness what is happening. And awareness itself is resting, observing, taking in the world, and seeing how fleeting everything is. My thoughts, my emotion, these sensations coming and going, ever changing. And this is how we stay engaged with life, is by continuously looking, feeling, sensing, So in meditation, it's not checking out and being passive. It is a very deep engagement with nature occurring within us and accessing that truth, the universal truth right there within us, engaging with it, seeing it, feeling it, and then verifying this for ourselves. Oh, oh, this is what the Buddha taught. Oh, this is what all the spiritual traditions are pointing to. Oh, this is what Jesus means when he says to be in this world and not of this world. You know, that when I'm of this world, I lose myself. I lose what is the most important thing, what really matters. I'm just living a life for somebody. But when I'm in this world, I'm in my body, I'm in my heart, I'm showing up in my life fully, completely, and aware of the worldly winds, aware of its coming and going, aware of it passing by. And I'm not caught by this wind that passes through. Okay, so you didn't like my talk. Okay, so so you walked out. Okay. Yep, that happens. Some people will stay and some people will go, you know. That's been a really good practice for me through the years of teaching. Are you caught in the worldly wind? So, and getting to feel that in my body, you know, those patterns in me, those things that I learned in my childhood, like, you're not enough, you know, and then, no, no, that's not it. That's just what's here. Someone just walked out. It's okay. So, you know, being able to, equanimity is being able to see all this and then be able to accept, yeah, this is how it goes. This is what happens. I remember when I was planning uh um my wedding, and like my dad had said to me something that was so wise. I would never forget this. It helped me so much. He said, "Look, there is no way you can make everyone happy." He says there'll be people who will love the food, love the whole, you know, setup and everything, and there are people who hate it. They're gonna tell you like that was awful. And he's like, that's gonna happen, you know. And I was like, wow, you're right. So I don't need to put that pressure on myself that, you know, I should try to appease everyone. And it was so liberating because sure enough, after the wedding of 400 people, there are people. Yeah, right. 400 people. There were people who were like, the food was okay. The food was great. Oh God, it was awful. Why did you serve this? Why did you serve that? And you know, in the Asian wedding, it's like 8 course meal, sometimes 10 course. And I was like, oh, welcome. I welcome all feedback, all opinions. Yes, all is included. All is included inside of this. I wasn't seeking to achieve perfection, you know, I was just, it was already included inside of what was to come. And that freed me from the pressure, the shame, all of that afterwards. Oh, I could have been better. Oh gosh, I should have done this. And oh, can we redo this? Or, you know, so it, that wisdom liberated me through the whole experience. So when we have this wisdom teaching, and we remember it and recall it, it can liberate us right then and there in that moment, like how it did for me, that moment. Oh, yes, revenue loss. Of course. Of course. How could I? think that it was gonna not ever happen. So we just remember what's inevitable. That impermanence, is inevitable. Change is inevitable. And and this is how we practice unburdening ourselves from the anxiety of clinging, right? Because what we're clinging is we're clinging to certain outcomes. We're clinging to a certain set of conditions that we want for ourself, right? And as the Buddha says, that all conditioned phenomena are subject to change. All conditioned phenomena are subject to change. So if it's subject to change, why cling to what is subject to change? Mm. So I'd like to pause there and open up the space for your reflection, comments, any questions you might have, anything you'd like to offer into the space. All is welcome here. All is welcomed here. Will you take the mic so those on Zoom can hear you? Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Is it is it on? Oh, let's see.
Oh,
There we go.
I I'm asking a question. I misheard something, so um, I feel a little strange asking this question, but during the meditation, thought you said, yeah, um, is it working?
Everyone on Zoom can hear you.
Okay,
So that's good. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So it's more for those on Zoom if you hold it close for them. Yeah.
So I thought during the meditation that you said something that intrigued me and was energy of awareness. Did you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm not quite sure what that is.
Yeah. Ah, thank you. Thank you for asking that. Mhm. There we go. Yep. Thank you, Katie. Yeah. Energy of awareness. The word energy uh comes with it this this part of effort. So awareness itself requires a certain amount of effort. So to be aware, there's an effort to stay aware and stay awake, right? And stay mindful. So and and the quality of our awareness, we know that it's like it's like tuning an instrument. So when we're practicing, whether mindfulness in daily life or through meditation, where we're working to establish this strength of awareness that can be here without being like this flame that flickers back and forth, being moved by the wind. And so the more we kind of dial that in and like we use an anchor to focus our attention so that we can build awareness and strengthen it. So it's like that flame that can stay in one place without flickering. So that's one way I would describe it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we do this up until awareness just becomes natural. It doesn't require effort anymore. But that's much further into the state of samadhi where it's like an effortless effort to stay aware. But until then, there is a degree of effort and energy that is required to stay present, alert, awake, mindful. Mhm. Yeah. That's from Thich Nhat Hanh, my teacher Thich Nhat Hanh, who used the word energy of awareness. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah. You read his book. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Margaret.
Yeah,
Mm.
Trina, I like what you just said because um, um, I I've recognized that the steadiness of the practice allows us to tune in to that energy
Yes.
and to yeah, recognize when we're there. And the more we're able to see it and feel it,
Yeah.
the stronger the stronger it becomes.
Yeah.
And it's quite lovely, but there really does have to be a steadiness of the practice that,
Mm-hmm.
at least from my experience,
Mm-hmm.
that strengthens that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Margaret, for saying that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
Mhm.
I just want to highlight something Margaret said about this energy of awareness. We can sense and feel it, right? It's really alive in us. When we are fully here, there's a quality of that presence, present awareness. There's a quality of it that for me it feels vivid and alive each moment, very vivid and alive. I think of like this as like moving through the world and seeing things in high definition. So everything comes to life more fully. It's like our eyes are the dust is cleared off and we can see things clearly. The colors, the sounds, and hear things, feel. There's more of a sensitivity to everything around us and within us. Mhm. Yeah. The mic, yeah. Mhm. Oh, there we go.
Turn it onwards. See if I can wiggle around. Thank you always, Trina, and thanks for everybody that's here to make this possible. Tonight, the connection that I made tonight on impermanence was that we always have weather, right?
Mhm.
And in Oregon, oh, it's a 10% chance of rain today, and then it rains 100% of the time. And
Yeah.
there's not one weather day that's the same. So I had a connection that the impermanence is like the weather. It's
Mhm.
always going to show up a little different. And I can find peace in whatever is in the weather of how it comes. I just made that
Yeah,
connection
that's it.
today. So
Beautiful.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mhm.
And thanks to all of
Thank
our
you.
Zoom friends.
Sadhu. Well said. It's like the weather. And when we can experience the weather, oh, it's cloudy today. Oh, it's rainy. Overcast. Oh, sunny. Just like that internally, you know, tuning in. What's the weather like inside? And that's how we practice mindfulness of the four foundations. Feeling into that weather within us, reviewing it, checking it often. Yeah. And really being able to name it. Oh, looks like a storm is coming. Okay. Oh, it's starting to clear up. Ah, there's sun coming through. Right. Oh, okay, there's hi Robert. I think said it here.
Hi, Trina.
Hi.
I just have to share with you how grateful I am to you
Mm,
and to this Sangha. As is so often the case, your talk tonight was exactly what I needed to hear.
mm,
I think I've shared before, I know I've shared before, that I was born with a disability. I use a wheelchair. And with that comes some issues every once in a while, especially now that I'm an old man. And when I was contemplating joining tonight's session, I almost didn't because I was in a lot of pain.
mm,
Did something to my hip and to my knee that I'm just in a lot of pain. And I was having trouble moving,
yeah.
but I decided, no, I'm going to get on this because I value this so much.
Mm,
And of course, I know that pain is impermanent for the most part, but just hearing you talk about it just helped me relax.
mm,
And I told myself, I know this is impermanent. Why am I making such a big deal of it? In my brain, I need to just accept it and I'll be okay. 2 hours later, I'm still in pain,
mm,
but I'm okay with it.
mm,
And I'm not in nearly as much pain as I was. And so, again, I just really am very grateful to you. Thank you.
mm, mm. Thank you, Robert. You reminded me of a similar story that you had, that the Buddha had, actually, when he was, one time when he was teaching. Um, he had back problems. So one time while he was teaching, he had back pain. And he was like, he told one of his students, I'm going to lie down. I'm going to have you continue the talk. And and then another time, he was very ill. And he asked one of his students to come, can you give a Dharma talk to me on the 7 factors of awakening? And that helped him so much. It helped ease his pain as he lie there, feeling the physical pain of this body. And he heard this Dharma talk on the 7 factors of awakening. And it just, like the wholesomeness, the goodness of that rushed back into his body and help comfort and soothe him. Yeah. So when we expose ourselves, to what is good, what is wholesome, the teachings, yeah, it can help, shift our energy or help us to kind of experience a little bit of a softening, bit of ease. Maybe it becomes like this balm that helps ease the pain body, or the emotional pain, or the psychological pain. Hmm. I'm glad you came, Robert. Glad you're here. And glad you experienced some uh, reduction of pain. Yeah. And maybe that's the second arrow that was removed. Mhm. Yeah. Mm. Mm.
Hi, I'm Carla. So I have been putting this work, I mean, this has been so good for me in so many beautiful ways.
Mm.
And I have kind of a one ongoing circumstance that's very sticky for me emotionally. Yeah. And it's not about denying your feelings on it, right?
Right.
Could you explain that a little bit more?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Allowing the feelings to move,
Yeah.
but not letting it drag you down.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you for your vulnerability. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Some of the some of the knots that are tied within us, the internal formation, right? So we have the mental formation stuff that's on the surface, and then the ones that are much more, it's like the roots are buried down underneath, and you know, they just have more energy to them. There's just a lot more energy there. And so the process that and the time it takes for it to come to the surface, crop up and dissipate, we just have to allow, give it time. Some of these things are, we've built so much mental construct around it. Mm-hmm. Yes. And that's where we get more attached. The knot is tighter. The bondage is much more harder to break. Right. So the stronger the mental construct, the more solid the mental construct is of whatever it is, the more time, maybe not even time, just allowing for that burst of energy, the movement of it, the strength of it to just come through us. And as you're naming the emotion, allowing the emotion to come through this vessel as sadness, anger, grief, pain, whatever that is, it's being present to the emotion. It's mindfulness that can, I see you, sadness. I see you, anger. Okay, I know you're there. And we're acknowledging our humanity in that moment that we allow that. We're letting ourselves be so utterly human to feel what we feel, you know, to let those sankharas, impressions, the mental impression come up and let it pass. Our work is to observe it, to stay aware of it, and to not cling and not push it away. And by doing so, it will dissolve in its time. This is also how we work with, patterns, all these things allowed to come up. You can apply loving kindness towards these things, but we're not to push it away, not to indulge or cling on to it, because that will have it continue, right? So this is essentially what we're undertaking in meditation and in daily life, practicing, mindfulness and loving kindness to these emotions, these thoughts, these sensations. It's part of that 7S that I share with that one part of softening. And then even if we can offer it a smile, which is the friendliness. Yeah, anger. Yeah, I see you. You're here. And look after it so that anger doesn't, you know, get out of control and cause harm, right? So we look after all these emotions, look after them, stay really close to them, just like a child. Child can sit right here while we're, moving through the world. You know, the child can cry, the child can throw a tantrum, the child can, complain and whine. And okay, yes, yes, yeah, you can sit right here. I see you. You know, we're not trying to tell the child to stop or to, you know, why are you crying? Just, yep, I see you. You're here. And this is how we tend to ourselves in that way. Yeah. Hmm. And then there's, we won't have time to go into this, but then there's the investigative side of meditation, the Vipassana side, where we're going in and now we're really another angle of looking deeply at these seeds, right? And how they got there. So that's the other side of it. Looking deeply at the seed, how it got there, and then work to uproot them. Mhm. Not the emotion itself, but what's under the emotion that's causing the emotions to be there. Yes. That's where we go in and do the deep, 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 deep work. Hmm. Yeah. Thank you for your question. My heart's with you. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Well, we've gone past time. I just want to acknowledge and thank everyone for being here. Mm. And I'd like to just end with that song. Um, have you seen how fleeting is the world? And I put the words in the chat and invite you to join me. We'll sing it 3 times if you know the words, or you can, you know, follow along. But to really, these are just words of the Dharma put into such a beautiful melody by, I learned it from a teacher at Forest Refuge when I was uh, on a personal retreat there for a month. Have you seen how fleeting is the world? Like a dewdrop bubbles on a stream, lightning in a summer cloud, a phantom and a dream. Have you seen how fleeting is the world? Like a dewdrop bubbles on a stream, lightning in a summer cloud, a phantom and a dream. Have you seen how fleeting is the world? Like a dewdrop bubbles on a stream, lightning in a summer cloud, a phantom and a dream. Gratitude to your practice and your presence here today.
Thank you, Trina.
Thank you, Margaret. Bye, Mary. Yes. You're welcome. Bye, Elowen. Ready for takeoff. Feel free to say goodbye. Oh, they locked off already. All right. Ready for takeoff.